Hello YouTube. So today Square Enix sent me an email. I'm on their mailing list for some reason. Not sure why, but they're taking a player survey and I thought I'd do it on a video for a bit of fun. It says this survey is designed to allow you to give feedback to the folks behind your favourite games about what you like and what you want to see in future titles. Bit presumptuous, innit? So I've skipped all the boring bits like age and gender and all that. Let's get on to the real questions. Which of the following platforms do you currently play video games on, at least monthly? So I play one game on my phone and that's Yu-Gi-Oh! And probably never going to play anything else. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. Don't see any option for PlayStation 1 or 2 here. That's strange. Where's PSP? I don't see PSP Square Enix. Not much actually about Square Enix yet. I'm hoping it will get to that. Which video game genres do you enjoy playing? Literally, no, not Battle Royale. I don't enjoy playing them. Yeah, wrestling, enjoy that. Simulation, first-person shooter. Don't enjoy fitness and health. I don't enjoy fitness and health games or fitness and health in general, to be honest. I don't know if it's meant to be enjoyable. Do enjoy learning games, yes. I enjoy a bit of brain training. Licensed kids characters, Kingdom Hearts. I don't know what that means, Square Enix. What is your favourite video game genre on PC and or console? Well, that would have to be role-playing games, specifically JRPGs. Overall, what type of gameplay do you enjoy playing on PC and console? Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question, but single player I prefer. Campaign mode, what's that mean? I neither understand the question or the answers. Role-playing video games can be divided into two categories, those that are made in Japan and those that are made in North America or Europe. In general, which types of role-playing video games do you enjoy playing? Well, I prefer Japanese video games, but again, this question is a bit weird because it says Japanese role-playing games and the question is which types do you enjoy playing, but then it gives you the option between PC and console. I mean, I guess JRPGs are usually on console, but that doesn't necessarily mean I would prefer playing them on console. Just that they're always exclusive, really. Well, it's been getting better recently, but definitely Western RPGs prefer playing on PC, because usually games like Skyrim and The Witcher you can mod. Which of the following companies do you trust to consistently build high-quality games? Now it gets juicy, folks. Here's my list. At number 11, and of course the bottom of the barrel when it comes to creating high quality video games, it's Ubisoft. They basically put out the same shit over and over again, and it never gets any better, and it's always rife with bugs and just boring, repetitive gameplay. Next up, it's Electronic Arts, who of course aren't really focused on making games at the moment so much as just funneling as much money through microtransactions as possible into their pockets. At number 9, I'm sure they'll be pleased to hear they're just above Electronic Arts, it's Square Enix. To be honest, these three companies could take joint last place for me, because the amount I trust Square Enix to put out a good game at this point is actually zero. I don't trust them whatsoever to put out any good games at all. Because for years now I've had nothing but sheer disappointment from every single one of their games, and they've just run so many series that I've loved for years into the ground with their terrible business practices. Next up, and also pretty much joint bottom, is Microsoft at number 8. They have had a terrible track record recently, cancelling games left, right and centre. And you know, one of their biggest games that should have really carried them through recently was Sea of Thieves, which I've not heard anything good about. I've only heard negative stuff about that game. It's something I want to get into in a future video, but I think Microsoft has done more to actually ruin games than they have to create good ones, so again, really low on the list. At number 7, it's Activision, and the weird thing about this list is that a lot of these companies you would see more as publishers rather than developers, and the ones that are higher on the list you see more as developers, so that could be a subliminal reason as to why I've listed them this way. Next up is Epic Games, which I'm completely indifferent about, which is why they're dead in the middle there at number 6. At number 5 it's Nintendo, which I don't particularly trust to put out good games, but I'm sort of getting there, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm edging towards, yeah, Nintendo has put out good games in the past and probably will do so in the future. Bethesda would probably be higher on the list if it weren't for the huge piece of trash that is Fallout 4. Again, I'm not sure whether I'm supposed to be thinking of their published games or their first party games here, so yeah, number 4. At number 3 it's Blizzard. While I haven't played Overwatch and I despise World of Warcraft, Blizzard's Warcraft and Starcraft series are absolutely fantastic and pretty much flawless games, and I'm sure they're capable of pulling something like that off again. At number 2 it's Sony, who have of course countered to Microsoft being knocking it out of the park recently in terms of exclusives. Pretty much any Sony exclusive game that comes out is both highly anticipated and a critical and commercial success, so I've no qualms about their ability to put out good games. Speak to anyone in the gaming industry and they will pretty much guarantee you that any Rockstar game that's coming out will be fantastic. Such high production values, so many different elements to their games, like the radio stations in Grand Theft Auto, so much effort put into them. They did have a little hiccup with GTA 4, which I thought was nowhere near as good as the other GTAs, but still, there's no way you can say that it was a bad game. So yeah, a well-deserved place at number 1. It's question 14, and finally we get to talk about Square Enix, which of course is what we're actually here for. What, if any, are your thoughts about Square Enix? Here's what I wrote. Square Enix, and both Squaresoft and Enix before them, used to be the best in the business, putting out outstanding games consistently for years. Currently, the company seems to have lost its way, focusing too much on Final Fantasy games with increasingly frustrating design flaws and convoluted writing, despite the huge budget behind them. Square Enix's smaller franchises like Star Ocean and Drakengard have suffered tremendously due to the huge budgets of Final Fantasy, because they aren't given the resources and budget they need. Square Enix focuses too much on pre-order culture without delivering enough worthwhile content to justify continued support. Just delete that. They announce games far too early and lack focus, forcing talented developers like Tetsuya Nomura to jump between several different projects at once, rather than focusing on delivering one game with a high standard. Question 16 is, what best describes your experiences with the following Square Enix video game franchises? Note that it doesn't ask if you like them or not, it just asks if you've played them. So I've played most of these, I've played most Square Enix games. Bravely Default, I definitely want to play that at some point. I Am Setsuna, that also looks good. Lost Sphere, I can't remember whether that's a newer game or one of those older ones for the Xbox 360. But yeah, looking down this list, there's a lot of great games here, a lot of great game series, but they're just nowhere near as good as they used to be, most of them. Stuff like Legacy of Kain, that's one of my favourite series, that just doesn't exist anymore, they've stopped making it. They've ruined Star Ocean, Thief and Tomb Raider, I don't like those series anymore. So I guess you could say it's a mixture of like excitement and disappointment looking at the list of games here. Which of the following video game franchises is your favourite? I mean, this is going to be a tough one because Chrono Trigger is probably the best game they've ever made. However, it's not really my favourite, and it's not really a franchise either. Star Ocean is one of my favourite series, but Legacy of Kain in terms of quality, I would say is the best series they've done. Although having said that, I don't really see it as a Square Enix game because it's not a first party game. If it was a first party game we were talking about, then I would have to go with Drakengard. But on the off chance they actually read this and decide to make another Legacy of Kain game, I'm going to leave it as Legacy of Kain. Yeah, that's not going to happen. The next question is, what are your thoughts about the Legacy of Kain franchise? And I've written, it has an expertly written and realised world and characters, with a unique combat system and amazing atmosphere. Some of the best voice acting ever as well. Number 21. Square Enix makes a variety of games. They can be generally defined in the following way. Role-playing games that are designed in Japan and or tend to stylistically resemble Japanese-style RPGs. Key examples include Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts and Dragon Quest. I don't know why those are capitalised and Dragon Quest isn't. Games that are designed in the West, in regions such as North America and Europe, and tend to be action-adventure games or role-playing games. Key examples include Tomb Raider and Just Cause. I'm going to put that I enjoy both, even though I've already said I'd prefer the Japanese style of games. Which of the following generally influence you? I'm guessing that means influence me to make a purchase. Not much, because I despise advertising, to be honest, so advertising is definitely a no. Review videos, definitely. YouTube videos, reviewing the game or showing gameplay. Which of the following would make you more likely to purchase games digitally? None of the above. Can you briefly describe your last DLC purchase and note why you decided to purchase it? If you haven't purchased any DLC recently, please note why you haven't. I've put, I'm against DLC practices in general, unless it is a large expansion such as Elder Scrolls 4's Shivering Isles. Usually DLC is not worth the price and takes the form of things that would have been in the game already as rewards for doing well in the PS1 and PS2 era. What describes your experience with the following video game series? Again, this doesn't ask if you enjoy them or not, it just says if you've played them. Which is annoying because I really want to say that I hate Assassin's Creed. Finally, another interesting question. What game would you like Square Enix to make? I want them to make a classic style Final Fantasy with pre-rendered backgrounds and a turn-based combat system that has a simple but decent story. So basically, a good Final Fantasy game. Do you have any other feedback for Square Enix? I think I've said all that needs to be said pertaining to these particular questions. I think there's more to say though, maybe I'll get a chance some other time. So that was something a bit different, wasn't it? Please let me know your thoughts on Square Enix, it'd be good to chat about it in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.